Once again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is having another all-time great season, putting to rest any sort of skepticism that he's a top 10 player in the world. He's the best player and one of the best teams in the West. He's averaging 29.9 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, and 6.3 assists per game on 53.8, 36.5, 93.9 splits, and a 63.8 true shooting percentage. But what always has intrigued me when watching Shai is how unique of a player he is. I feel like I'm watching an anime character play against professional athletes whenever I watch the tape. I've never seen a player like this, someone who's capable of playing the way he does while also being as great as he is. It truly takes a special talent to do that at the level he does. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, statistically speaking, Shai is unreal. He has the third highest field goal percentage among players who are top 10 in scoring, and among the 17 players in the NBA with a usage rate of at least 30, he has the third highest true shooting percentage, trailing only Steph Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Also, among players with at least a 30 usage rate, he ranks second in offensive win shares, and value over replacement player behind Nikola Jokic, fifth in offensive box score plus minus, and third in box score plus minus behind the last two players to win MVP, Jokic and Embiid. Right now, he's also on pace to be just the third player in NBA history to average at least 29 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game on a 63 true shooting percentage in a single season. The only other players to do that are Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. There's a lot to back up the idea that Shai is having an all-time great peak. At the very least, he's at the start of it, both this season and last season. He's historically efficient and productive. Both the traditional and advanced numbers suggest that he's an MVP caliber player, which is why I never had a problem with the idea of him being viewed as one of the 10 best players in the NBA. But for as great as Shai is statistically, his tape is even more spectacular. Shai does most of his work inside the arc. He shoots 63.6% on 7.3 rim attempts per game, and on 2-point shots outside of the rim, he shoots 52.7% on 9.4 attempts per game. He's in the 97th percentile in free throw attempts, 96th percentile in rim volume, 98th percentile on non-rim 2-point volume, and the 90th percentile in non-rim 2-point efficiency. According to Clean the Glass, he's in the 88th percentile on long mid-range volume and shoots 51% on those type of shots. This all adds up because he's shooting 57.5% on 2-pointers. But while these numbers show that Shai is a great scorer inside the arc, the tape shows that he's one of the most unique scorers inside the arc. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a really bizarre way of scoring within the arc, which makes him so interesting to watch. He's not the quickest guard like the Thompson twins, John Morant, or Jalen Green. He's not the strongest guard like Anthony Edwards or Scoot Henderson. He's not the fastest guard like De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Maxey. I'm not saying he's unathletic, but he doesn't really have a standout athletic trait in terms of those three regards. The way Shai creates is based almost solely around flexibility, body control, and patience, which is truly something only he does at the level he plays at as a guard. He's slithery and controlled as a creator. The way he gets to his spots and creates separation really resembles something we see out of anime characters rather than real-life basketball players. He does things that just don't really seem possible. He does things that feel only possible in the world of animation, the world where there are no boundaries when it comes to what's possible. The angles he's able to create and finish plays at are truly unique. his feel as a manipulator to create advantages that nobody will be able to stop because they don't have the control or flexibility to properly contest without fouling is special, and he uses his relatively lanky and tall frame to draw contact using stronger opposing players' strength against them. He has at least a handful of plays a game that leave me in awe because of how impossible the angles he finds are. When you combine this unique style of play that's nearly impossible to contain with his elite feel and skill level, you get one of the best scorers in the NBA. The other area that intrigues me is his three-point shooting. For as great as he is with inside the arc, his three-point shooting has been interesting because he's had really good volume seasons and he's had seasons where he doesn't take many threes. This season, he's fallen a bit in the median area between his highs and lows at 36.5% on 3.5 attempts per game. Now, he's not a big-time three-point shooter, only 15% of his attempts are beyond the arc, but he's reached the point where he's enough of a threat to keep defenses honest. It's not like he's ever been a bad shooter, but because of how effective he is within the arc, he just doesn't take that many threes, and it was evident last season. While this isn't a major jump compared to last season, he's at a threshold you want an elite inside the arc creator to be. 3 to 4 attempts a night, around league average volume, and somebody that can hit shots at least a league average level, which is more than enough considering how great he is at everything else. An area I think Shai is starting to prove people wrong is this idea that he's a foul baiting merchant. He's very good at drawing contact, but he has many instances where he's proven he doesn't need to be a 10 plus free throw attempt player to be effective. 40 points on 2 attempts, 35 points on 8 attempts, 34 points on 2 attempts, 33 points on 6 attempts, just to name a few. In fact, he only has 4 games this season where he's taken at least 10 free throw attempts and has 8 games of at least 30 points where he's taken less than 10 free throw attempts. The fact that he has this really good stretch of games without a bunch of free throws is a sign he doesn't need to draw contact to be effective. But at the same time, I don't think it's as big of a deal as some do that he does draw a lot of fouls and is really good at it, because all great scorers draw fouls. It's not something that's individual to him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of my favorite players ever. I've been a big fan of his since well before the NBA. I was high on him back when he committed to play at Florida before he flipped his commitment to Kentucky. He was my number 7 prospect in the 2018 draft behind Luka, Ayton, Bagley, Jaren, Bamba, and MPJ. I was always intrigued by his unique movement skills and play style, the way he won with flexibility, body control, and patience. But while I thought he was going to be a really good NBA player, I never saw this coming. I thought his ceiling was going to be a level of player similar to that one season in Brooklyn that D'Angelo Russell had as a fringe all-star level player. I thought if he could maintain that for a long time, that would be meeting expectations. I never saw a future top 10 player in the world like he's become. Funny enough, I think he has become what I thought Fultz would have been without injuries. He's a legit superstar in this league. He proved it last season as the engine of the biggest overachieving team in the NBA, and he's proving it this season as the engine of what could be one of the 3 best teams in the Western Conference. He's playing at an MVP level. In fact, I would say he's playing at a Hall of Fame level. The efficiency, production, and the value to his team suggest that. It's still early and only time will tell, but he's about 3 to 4 years of this type of production away from a Hall of Fame lock. You could bring up the fact that he's turning 26 and only will have 2 All-Star and All-NBA selections under his belt, but here's the thing. He's younger than Steph Curry was when he made his first All-Star team. And I'm not saying he's the next Steph Curry. That's really a high bar and they are wildly different players. But just because he didn't become this great level of player at a younger age than the 24 to 25 year old player that he was, doesn't mean he's not on pace for the Hall of Fame, especially with the way he's playing. I'm not saying he's the MVP right now. We have a lot of season left. In fact, I don't even think he's the favorite. I would still say it's Jokic. But he's a legit candidate if he keeps this up. And who knows? It's not out of the cards that he becomes the first OKC MVP since Westbrook. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways that can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Where does he rank in the league for you? Could he win MVP? How good do you think this Thunder team can be? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.